What's up, you guys? JD here, back with another video. And today I kind of want to just go over the previous week that we just had. A lot of action, a lot of chances to take opportunity. We broke all-time highs. Now we're back under 5-day MA. So, a lot of crazy stuff happening in the market. And we just keep ripping up, right? So this was Monday, right? Monday morning, we opened right here within these bullish algorithms. Now, I usually don't carry them over from the previous week, but I felt like we were still going to be under control here. So since the bulls were even holding it out until Friday, I took this quick long trade, right? 10:30 a.m., right? We had that microstructure. Boom. We had that white controlled magenta. This is supposed to be magenta. And it just gave us a way to keep buying. So I took the long here, took profits by the high of day, which was a little bit pushed past high of day. And I left a couple runners just to, run. I did not hold them out to here. I probably held them out to this level or maybe right here once we had some sort of resistance. But even if you didn't hold them out, there was still so many opportunities to reload here. You have another magenta right here, which boom, you open up the magenta, and then off this wick, you open up the blue. That could have been another possible entry right here. So you got one entry right here off the bounce of blue, or you can even wait it out here if you want a better RR. Like that. This is your RR, bottom of this, and target this level if you even want to, but we even got more chance to run. Anyways, I knew there was going to be more trades, so I wasn't too worried about chasing this one. Even though there was nice structure to get in. So I took this trade, called my profits, and I decided to wait. So we touched all-time highs, right? So bulls were still trying to build a little bit more liquidity to break out, right? We have this blue controlled selling. And once we had this magenta here, I decided to look for puts because I felt like we were going to have some strong pullback, maybe down here to form a nice head. There was left shoulder liquidity right here forming. So with that magenta, I waited until this magenta actually showed up again on this red candle. And once I saw this red candle pushing down a little bit and this one engulfing, that's where I decided to enter. So 1, 2 candles, take your profits quick, perfectly onto this key level, which actually closed the inverse cup, right? So for puts, take your profits quick. Red candles, that means it's going to be worth more. If you wait out for these green candles, probably 20% of your profits are going to be gone, right? So you take your profits and you wait for the next setup, which once we close the cup, we need a handle, right? Now, the plan here was for the bulls to break out. That's what, honestly, we should have been looking out for. So they were building liquidity. They made this left shoulder. They pulled back to a major level. They were trying to get some support. It was very weak here. But at the end of the day, that's trapping shorts. So more power for the bulls. And once they started having this push, boom, this could have been a possible entry long, or you could take the bounce off the blue. But they just didn't have that strength. So I charted out this bearish algorithm and I realized that the bears are actually building liquidity, right? So we had a bounce off the green here, bounce off the green here, and here we finally broke the green. I got the blue algo charted out where we bounced off the blue and the green. So this was going to be my entry as soon as it breaks the bottom here. So I saw red candle, and a green candle right there trying to bounce off the blue. But once the bulls have no strength, the sellers are just going to come and bring it down. So we took some 1 DTE puts here. So no 0 DTE. It was already 13. So it was like 1 p.m. 0 DTEs would have printed, but I wanted to actually hold a swing since we were at all-time highs. So I took some 1 DTEs, 12 contracts, secured 10 contracts by this red candle because that's when you're going to get the most profit. And again, we had more building of liquidity here for the bears. Let me show you, right? So we have this right here is going to be the blue. Dark blue, which is where they want to break. This is the entry algorithm, basically, is what I like to call it. Okay, so you can either enter at the top here or when they're going to break this, right? And then you have that controlled buying algorithm, which is what's going to stop people out and actually build that liquidity for them to make that push. So that's what this green is right here, as you can see. Boom, perfectly, kind of lines up with it. I'm sure you can draw them a little better. But kind of, that's what I kind of look out for whenever I'm looking to short. First of all, that the cup forms, and then we need to look out for these 2 algorithms. If the cup forms and these 2 algorithms are not at play, then the sellers are not in control, okay? So probably right here, okay? That looks right. So once it breaks the blue or top of blue, you can take the entry. Now, better RR is top of blue, but you also have a chance that the bulls are building liquidity. So, you know, once you know this breaks, you know that the sellers are going to come, which we got some beautiful candles. Now, I didn't enter because I didn't have them charted out. So I had actually 2 contracts held right here. So I took all the profits, you know, I just took them with me. I did not re-enter. I actually re-entered this trade right here, which I guess was a little bit worse than this one. But as long as you're taking your profits and you make it matter, I just held out the 2 even until the next day. So there was a CPI, and for some reason I just felt like it was going to come in hot, but I didn't want to risk a lot of capital into it. So from this play, I kept my 2 runners. For the next day, 1 DTE. I took one more little scalp here since I saw the red algo was supposed to be blue and this is supposed to be green. So green algo build liquidity, blue breakdown, microstructure, boom, take your profit by low of day, right? So pretty self-explanatory. Then we chopped up a little bit building liquidity, which is this liquidity right here got used to go down right here. As you can see, you need to have the buyers to go down. So my 2 contracts were up as soon as I woke up, like 300% or something like that. So I spent like $40 and turned it to like 300 something. So I took my profits there, didn't care about any more selling. Boom, I was up on the day already like $200 something. So I was happy. And so I had a bigger stop loss, so I could take bigger trades essentially. So I saw this magenta, right? Selling liquidity, right? Everyone after a gap down like this is looking to sell. They think market crash. They think, you know, end of the market, whatever. But I actually had bullish algorithms in mind because I felt like the bulls were going to start reclaiming. So off the bounce of the blue, I took this long position, stop loss at bottom low of day. So very, very good RR, right? And we did have some buying continuation. Boom. As soon as this this orange gets broken, you have to take your profits because that's where you're going to have some sign of pullback. Now that wasn't really enough to close the cup, right? All the way. So they did inch up a little bit more, but I'd rather not hold out through this kind of chop, right? I'd rather just take my profit here and look for another structure to re-enter. Stress-free, literally. This look, you could see it a little bit better. So we had the blue, we had the magenta. Off the bounce of the blue, boom, straight up, okay? Activates this orange. Pretty self-explanatory. Then I was looking out for the magenta again with the blue. Too much chop here, nothing worth entering really. And then after we had some tapering. So we had this orange, right? And it tapered into the green and the blue was right here. So this is where the sellers are actually going to take control at the blue, right? So once we close this cup, I was looking out for a handle, okay? And I entered here, the handle. We had a left shoulder right here within the bullish algorithm. So this is buyers trapped right here, okay? So we got the head. This is a bullish algorithm. Rejection wick, rejection wick, rejection wick, rejection wick. Rejecting the bullish algorithm, so bullish structure trapped here, right? So there's buyers trapped here. We're rejecting the bullish algorithm. So there's no reason not to take the puts here. Boom, take your profits by the red candles. And then I got stopped out on like probably the remaining 2 to 4 contracts that I had. I was taking bigger size because of my previous win earlier and I was being patient. So look, but we have a trade here, we have a trade here at 10:20. So almost 2 hours after, 12:20, right? 2 hours of waiting, right? A lot of people can't do that. They're puts. They want to see puts, red candles, puts. You just got to wait for the opportunity. Buyers trapped, rejection of buying algorithm. You know, there's going to be some sort, even if it's not a huge move, there's definitely going to be some sort of hunting for those buyers right here, right? So we take advantage of that and we hold the runners. If they get stopped out, oh well, we still had a good trade. The point is trading good. It's not about making money. Well, that's debatable. It is about making money, but if you're still learning, the point is trading good. It's not making money because you can infinitely scale in the future. I can take these same trades with confidence with 100,000 contracts if I can guarantee it with 20 contracts, right? But most people just care about the money. They're just like, all right, hold on. I got to get puts here because I know that, you know, I'm going to make $10,000, which is not realistic. So we were fighting. We got back into the bullish algorithm, but we didn't break out, which means there's even more buyer liquidity here, more buyer liquidity here. So you have to keep looking out for that. Once we're not breaking out, we're staying stuck, especially once you see these engulfing candles like that. You wait. Look at this beautiful microstructure right here, okay? So we had that green little candle right there, which is super, super weak, right? But mind you, we're in the bearish algorithms as well, right? So this is kind of fighting. So once we have this liquidity right here, that shows that the sellers and the buyers are fighting right there, right? Buyers buy off of the blue. Sellers sell, broke under blue. That's where you got to take your puts right here. This is a beautiful entry. We had a previous cup close right here. Cup closed, handle, failed to break down, right? So we just go up for more liquidity. We need more buyers. Boom, we get another pullback, and it's fighting within the bearish and the bullish algos. So once we break that blue bearish algo, boom, sellers are going to come in. So once I saw this engulfing red candle, I knew that was a perfect entry. You can target it to the same place, low of day. I took my profits by this candle. I was happy with that. Because at the end of the day, with size, you don't need that big of a move. You just need a guaranteed move and a good RR, right? So after that was done, you just got to keep waiting. We had another cup close right here. Inverse cup, another handle, left shoulder, that's buyers trapped, right? There's a head right here. Mind you, we're forming this green buying algo, so that's controlled by the sellers. And we taper into the blue. So the taper into the blue is where your entry is going to be, which I had my stop loss at the top of the head, and I entered in the right shoulder after I saw this engulfing red candle. So, you know, you can also even wait out until here, until this candle right here to break this orange. So this is also a controlled buying algo. We taper from orange to green to blue. Blue is the entry that you want to take. So yeah, that works out. I just took my profits by here. I didn't realize that we were going to sell all the way down there, but you know, it is what it is. You take what you can get, and you don't get greedy. After this, I didn't care about the rest of the day. I was happy with what I made. Beautiful day. This Tuesday was so many chances to make profit. You just had to really be patient and understand, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, we had a gap up, right? Everyone was probably wanting to short this to fill this gap. I actually was patient. I waited. Blue algo, charted it out. Red algo, charted it out. Once I saw this rejection off of here, we closed this cup. This was an early entry since we got no handle. But we had so much left shoulder liquidity, a gap, so I was pretty bearish on this day. So we got that. Boom, take your profit. Didn't really hold it out, but not only that, but you can see it's within a bullish algorithm as well, which is this magenta building liquidity. So you can't get too bearish once we see that, because we also have this blue defending, right? So you have to take your profit somewhat quickly because the buyers are actually building liquidity to push this back up. So I had my blue algorithms charted out, which is where they're going to be defending, right? I did not take any trades here because there was just too many competing algorithms. Yellow, you have green, you have blue. So it's just, yeah, it's pretty messy. But we did close the cup, right? And I was expecting us to at least close that gap, which is at this blue key level. And so I was bearish still. So once I see all of these candles holding up at a key level like this, that's just showing me that sellers do not want to keep going up. They really want to hold this down. So I take my puts. Once I see that magenta algo activating again, boom, nice, beautiful candle, right? Take the profit. Don't wait for these green candles to ruin all the profit. You see this red candle? I'm taking that all the way. All right. And then after, you can always look for more, right? So we had this blue. We already knew we were in the blue. We jump back in the blue, and you draw a micro channel here, right? Because you always want to see microstructure if you want to see a big move. Left shoulder, beautifully placed in the blue. We got a head rejection. Somehow happens to be at the left shoulder. Buyers trapped here. And we got that magenta again forming. So you already know, as soon as we touch that magenta, the sellers are going to be there. Take your trade right here. Your stop loss is right here. You can even have it up here if you really, really want to. But I had it right here. And you already know that the buyers are not going to react to this because it actually is within their buying algorithm. So you just have to take the profit by this bottom algorithm where they're defending it, because they're okay with it pulling back. The buyers want to buy cheaper. So cheaper is better for them at the end of the day. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder, take the profit. Now off of this bottom, I felt like since we closed the gap, actually we didn't even close the gap there. So we didn't close the gap. The buyers were definitely going to defend this. Maybe 5-day was here or something. I'm not sure. Maybe this is a key level. But I don't know. After this structure balance, I knew the buyers were going to come back in. So I took some lottery calls. So maybe $12 each, 8 contracts with the previous profits, right? 1 trade, 2 trade, 3 trades. So I just wanted to pretty much stop over trading because I was trading a lot. So I took some lottery calls. Instantly, they went from like $8 each to like $14. So I took profits on 8 of them. No, sorry, 4 of them, which was half because I took 8. And I left the other 4 running all day. All day. Didn't care. I possibly took another call here because I saw this magenta. Taper into the blue. Blue was defending. That's going to activate yellow buying continuation, right? And we were building all of this liquidity all morning long. So I knew there was a lot of sellers trapped because of this blue right here, right? Now, if you see all these lines, you think it's confusing. It's confusing because you don't understand it. If you want to understand it, go to check out my mentor Eric's. I'll have his YouTube in the description, his Discord, everything. This is all you need to trade, like no joke. So I see the magenta, blue, taper. So take the long there, take profits. And I still had my my 4 long running contracts, even though they were really far out of the money. So they probably went worthless after this time because I was expecting us to just fly. But we didn't get it that day. But, you know, still a green day. That's all that matters. We didn't overtrade. We limited ourselves from overtrading. Maybe I took one more trade here, but at this point I'm super scaled down. These trades don't even matter in my P&L. They're just literally to trade good, to reinforce good habits, because we had a magenta and we had a blue. So these 2 trades right here are most likely very scaled down. I know this was lottery because after I take 3 trades, I don't want to be going full size again. And actually we had a huge runner. So maybe the lottos did print. I thought this was already the next day. So most likely scaled down trade here as well. But still, so many opportunities to make profit if you just wait for the algorithms. Literally, that's all you have to do is wait. Patience. So we had a gap up. We did have controlled selling. So I have all these blue algorithms, which is bulls in control, right? But magenta, right? Taper into blue. But I did see this red. We were building liquidity. Whenever I see this like chop like this, I always like to throw this red. I'll go down because that's the bears building liquidity, especially when we have a left shoulder here and a head. So same setup. Once you see all of this liquidity building, you know all of these green candles right here are buyers, right? So we're just holding right here, okay? And I threw on a micro channel. These 2 wicks right here show you the micro channel. As you can see right there, you throw down the wicks, boom, perfect micro channel, okay? So once we break under this main algorithm, right, usually we'll have a retest or a small structure in the micro channel, which is this green candle right here was a retest, right? Now, I took the trade off the break of the algorithm because put plays are fast. So you gotta already know you want to take the trade by like this green candle right here. You're looking out for puts already, just because you know off the bottom of the candle that the sellers are holding this, especially once you see this wick right here, you have time to react. So I saw this wick, I'm like, okay, I know the sellers are going to take control here. So once I see a break under this red, we have this magenta formed. You already know there's a way for them to go, and the buyers will let it because the bottom of their algorithm is right here at the bottom of the blue. So boom, perfect trade, secure by the bottom of the blue. That's where they're going to defend it, okay? You don't want to wait for green candles. If you wait for, sure, you could have taken a little more profit here than me, sure, okay? But you don't need the whole move. At the end of the day, these 2 green candles right here would probably kill 15%, 20% of the profit. Whereas this red candle right here made my trade 80% automatically just because of this big red candle. Excuse me. So bulls again, defended off the bottom of the blue. Boom. I didn't take any long trade here. Just because we had this cup closed, we actually closed the gap. finally here, but we had a cup close. So, you know, once we close cups, I'm usually switching over to puts, which is exactly what I did here, but I got stopped out, unfortunately. So can't take every good trade. So left shoulder, another left shoulder, ahead, close cup. I was definitely bearish here at this point. That's why I have this red algo thrown down. I have this blue algo thrown down off this wick right here. So I was definitely bearish here. I was like, okay, they closed the cup. Now they're building liquidity for the handle. So let's just wait. I saw this kind of microstructure right here within this red. So as you can see, the red algo, which is a bearish algo microstructure, I was like, all right, there's no way we go up from here. So took puts right here. We kind of got a little push, but we should have waited for this bottom algo to break, because that's where the big liquidity was. Right here, this is big liquidity. We bounced off of it. So maybe that would have been the better play. But we get stopped out. It's no biggie because we have the bullish algorithms thrown down, right? So we know where our long scenario is going to be, right? It's going to be once we get a micro channel, right? Liquidity, sellers right here, definitely, right? We get the magenta pull back, trapping more sellers right here, right? So sellers stuck. And we have this micro channel, which is where the bulls want to be. So we get push up, beautiful inverse micro, and we get another right shoulder. So that's left shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. That's a nested inverse head and shoulder with microstructure. There's no reason to not enter this off of the blue break. So once that blue breaks, that's going to activate that yellow right here, which you see, right? Especially when these two green candles are respecting that yellow like this. Look, I'll take it off. It's just respecting it. Like you can literally, the market tells you, all right, we're going up now. So we have the yellow, and not only that, but we're going to have another micro yellow right here. So your second entry, or if you want to feed your runners right here off of this candle, boom, instant. So you also get this blue, you get this magenta. So there's different opportunities to enter the long here. Once you see that this cup close, we built a handle and there's no follow through, you know, it just makes sense to go long. So I took the long off the blue. I was waiting out for it though. Once I saw this shoulder, head, and a nested shoulder, so we had 2 points where the bulls defended within the blue algo, it's a no-brainer. Yellow's going to activate. Yellow activated. Take your profits by high of day right here, right? Just in case, because the seller's left shoulder, right shoulder, you can expect some selling. Now we did have the strength to push up. I took another long trade here, which maybe wasn't the best RR, but I was very bullish at this point since the bears showed beautiful structure and they didn't break out. So I was long. I got stopped out here of some because I took profits and I left it running, stop, loss, break even. So at this red candle, I was out of all trades right here in profit. Now I did have a red trade here. So this trade canceled this out. And then this one was just, you know, a smaller trade because I had 1, 2, 3 trades, right? This was also a nice trade. So at the end of the day, as long as you stay green, you're not over trading, making yourself red, trying to get more, you know, that's what matters. Trading good is what I care about. So thereafter, we had this green continuation. Now you could have taken it off this magenta. Look at that beautiful bounce off magenta. Boom. Activates the green. This was a beautiful trade to take. Honestly, if I could have just not taken these two and waited out for this one, that's would have been the way better play, because this is okay. I mean, sure, scalping, but this right here, imagine this RR. Look at this. This is just, even to this key level, your RR is just insane. Look at that. 5 to 1. So it's like no brainer. This is the trade that you want to take, right? Off of the magenta. Now, you see the blue. The blue is where the sellers are getting trapped. So we actually pulled back, trapped sellers, and we went straight up, right? Plus we trapped sellers here. We trapped sellers here. When the cup closed, we trapped sellers. So, you know, you could just kind of tell with these algos that we're trapping sellers. So we can expect to go higher. And all day we were within this red, which is a bearish algo, trapping sellers, but still inching higher. So after this long, I took this long play for sure. After this long play, I was pretty much done for Thursday. This was maybe a small lotto play with my like small $100 account. But I took this trade because we had this blue defending. You see it defend 1, 2, 3. So once I saw this engulfing, that's my head. This is my shoulder, right? And we're going to activate that yellow. So once I see that micro channel, I'm in that 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. This right here is where you take all your profits. You don't want to wait until after. That candle right there is going to instantly sell, bring sellers into the market once you have that wick like that. So that's where you want to take all your profit. And I didn't care about the rest of the day. Chop, 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 chop. Who cares about all that, right? You don't want to waste your energy exhausting yourself. Take your trades, come back the next day. So Friday, we opened up here. I already felt like we were going to have pullback. We had so much liquidity built up here though. So, you know, the bulls definitely had this as an option, right? So I expected some pullback. We needed sellers in this market. So I jotted down this purple right here as soon as we got these red candles, which is actually a bullish algo. So boom, we kind of broke out of it, but then we had the blue and the green. So those are bearish algos telling me that bears are building liquidity very quick though. Very little liquidity was built and they did have a big reaction to it. So I had already had this magenta thrown down. So I took my trade right here once it touched that magenta. I don't know, my instincts just told me that's where I had to do it. Stop loss was at this little red candle right here where they were going to try to bounce it up, because that's where I feel like the buyers would take control. And boom, instant, beautiful, beautiful red candles. These right here are like 100% trades if you're doing 0DT. With this one right here, probably like a 200% trade realistically. But I don't like to hold out these green candles and puts. Puts are quick trades. So maybe if you enter this green candle, you took this one somehow, that would have been fire. Okay. Now, after that trade, I was like, okay, what are we going to do here? So we pulled back. Most likely we close this cup, right? Because you always have to zoom out. You have to be trading with the 30-minute chart, I'm sorry, at least. So you can kind of see who's building liquidity on the long side. So I threw down this green and I threw down this blue. Now, since we closed that cup, I was not going to short until this bottom blue channel, which right here, you see again, the same thing again. This is where the big boys are. This right here, they bought up this candle. They manipulated the price. And this right here is where the big boys are. So until we break the liquidity of the big boys, we're going to stay controlled by the big boys, basically. Okay. So this is actually a good trick that I always see happen, and it always works, or at least 99% of the time, is when we have this liquidity, you can't predict the reversal. You have to go with the flow because the big boys are controlling this price movement. Okay. So we get controlled selling. We get the tapering algo. Look at this bounce off the blue. That's where I took my trade. Once I see this blue right here, it respects right there, respected right there. Boom. You get that instant green, the yellow algorithm, which is a buying algo. And your RR is good because you have 2 points right here where the bulls defended on a key level, which was where they previously had a left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So bulls previously defended the same level right here, right? What are they going to do again? They're going to defend it because they just trapped a bunch of sellers in it. So boom, easy way down, easy way up. We took the profits by high of day because I was expecting, I was expecting some sort of pullback, a handle after we touched up here after this green candle. So I was expecting boom, right? Form the left shoulder liquidity, boom, ahead off this key level to trap sellers within the green. And then we're going to keep heading up. But we never really had that. So I take my profits. There wasn't anything really worth entering here. This is an okay trade, I guess. Not really good RR. But I didn't take any trades here. I didn't like it. So here we finally had that pullback. We built so much liquidity here. Exactly what I said. Pull back to this liquidity level. But I didn't take the long here because we were in this blue. So my rule is if we're in the blue, I'm looking for short. But I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. So I just stopped. I stepped away. I was like, okay, they're trying to trap me here. So let's just wait. Let's just wait until like maybe the end of the day. It's Friday. Crazy stuff happens on Friday, right? So come back probably 14, right? I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, so bulls are just going to keep buying all day. They have so much liquidity here. They have an inverse head and shoulder right here. They're trying to push out of it, right? So I probably came back around this time right here. Yeah, right here. And I was like, okay, So, but I see this blue algo and I'm like, we're getting really, really close to the blue algo. So I'm just going to wait. I'm waiting. If they fly up, I don't care. I missed a trade. Oh well, come back Tuesday. But I wanted to see if this blue was finally going to break, because look at this. Liquidity, right? Liquidity, buyers trapped, more buyers trapped right here, trying to get the breakout. Still trapping buyers here, right? So then after we started getting this pullback, I'm like, okay, I see what we're doing now. So once we get this rejection wick off of that, you can maybe take the trade there. I waited for this right here. This inverse, this microstructure right here. Green candle gets engulfed by a big red one. And then we have this right shoulder right here respecting the blue. That's an instant put play. And we had 5-day down here. Now, I wasn't expecting us to dump this hard, to be honest. In all realistic expectations, maybe a pullback here to this level, and then maybe we go back up just to trap more people for next week. But we just got the absolute banger of a lifetime right here. Boom, 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 boom. Just straight to 5-day, right? And this actually touched 5-day. They were building more liquidity to try to punch through it, which at the end of the day they did. But look, as you can see again, you need to see this blue, right? This blue, you have to see it. If not, you can't take the puts. You see it, boom. You gotta have this yellow, right? Because this is gonna trap buyers. So more buyers trapped. You need buyers to move down. If not, you can't move down. At least the big boys need that, right? And you got the green, which is controlled buying again. They're just sellers controlled buying. The yellow is trapping buyers who think it's going to go up. The green is sellers buying to trap the buyers, right? So this is where you're most likely going to get stop hunted in puts. You want to wait for the green, right? People take the puts right here because they expect us to keep flushing after these red candles, but this green is literally in place to stop out anyone who takes puts here. Literally, that's what it's meant for. This blue, again, stop you out because you see a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, but you have the blue trying to stop people out. So you wait for the break of blue right here. Boom. Break of blue right here. It just balanced the structure, right? We wanted to take more people out of this trade. So stop punt. Boom. Once we break blue again, perfect down. I took this trade on my $100 account, which is what I'm usually doing. Power hour, I'll take my $100 account. And I take $6 contracts, and sometimes they become, $20 each. Like in this trade, they became $20 each. This one, I took it as a main account trade. It was just too beautiful of a setup. All day we were trapping buyers, so it was just, it has to make sense. It has to make sense as to what's happening. You're not going to predict the market. The market does whatever it wants to, and you just have to know who's getting trapped and where. So one of my best weeks. This was a very green week. I did have 2 red days. So actually, Thursday was a red day. Just because, and this put play I took, it was sizable. So I just saw a good setup, and I did make it a little bit back, but at the end of the day, I stayed red. But I had an overall green week because this trade right here was a banger. And even though I don't like leaving the big trades for Friday, sometimes, if opportunity shows up, you got to show up too. So let's see, this week is going to be a banger. I know it is. So, I'll make a video this week as well. And whenever I don't make a video, I just honestly, I don't have time. But I'm always going to try to, stay transparent with my trades and always try to make it. So at least, you guys can learn from my mistakes, and, maybe I show someone how not to lose money. But I appreciate you guys sticking out this long. I know this was a long video, but a lot of info and a lot of, showing you how the algorithms kind of work. So hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.